The Galactic Academy of Aronis was nothing like Earth's universities. Floating towers, shimmering glass corridors, and gravity fields that shifted. With every step, it was a wonderland of alien technology. And somehow, I, a human cadet from a backwater planet, had earned a seat here. Or at least, I thought I had. I walked into the Grand Hall on the first day, surrounded by hundreds of alien nobles. They came from empires that spanned entire systems, scaled warriors from Dravik Prime, luminous thinkers from Alphra and the Regal, violet-skinned royals of the Vereen Dominion. Each race looked older, stronger, and infinitely more advanced than me. When I looked for a seat, eyes turned toward me, curious, judgmental, some even disgusted. Humans were still new to the galactic stage. The whispers followed me. Why is a human here? Primitive species, still bound by flesh. I tried to ignore them. I just needed a seat, somewhere in the back, quiet and unnoticed. But before I could find one, a hand, cool and faintly glowing, grabbed my wrist. Sit here. Her voice was firm, almost commanding. I looked up to see her, tall, graceful, her skin shimmering like starlight. Her crown glowed faintly with living crystal. I recognized her immediately, Princess Alara Vereen, heir to the Vereen Dominion, one of the most powerful royal lines in the galaxy. Are you sure? I stammered. Every eye in the hall was on us now. Yes, she said simply, tugging me toward the seat beside her. Humans should not stand alone. The hall fell silent. Even the Chancellor paused mid-sentence, his eyes narrowing. I sat, pulse racing, as whispers rippled through the crowd. Why had she done that? No alien royalty had ever publicly acknowledged a human before, let alone invited one to sit beside them. Alara leaned slightly toward me. You don't understand yet, she murmured, her voice barely audible. But you will soon. You have something they don't. I frowned. And what's that? She smiled faintly, her eyes glowing with strange intensity. The fire that makes gods afraid. For the rest of the lecture, I barely heard a word. My mind kept replaying her sentence, the fire that makes gods afraid. The aliens around us glared like I had committed blasphemy just by sitting next to her. The Dravik warlord across the aisle flexed his scaled claws, whispering something about contamination. The Alphran delegates, bioluminescent tattoos dimmed in disapproval. Alara, however, didn't seem to care. She kept her eyes forward, calm and royal. But I could feel something under that calm, something urgent. When the session ended, I stood up quickly, ready to vanish before someone decided to challenge me. But Alara spoke again, softly yet commanding as before. Walk with me. I hesitated. Every instinct told me to say no, to stay invisible. But curiosity, and maybe pride, made me follow her. We walked through the floating gardens of the academy, vines made of light swaying around us. Finally, she stopped beside a glowing fountain and turned to face me. You're wondering why I did that, she said. Kind of hard not to, I replied. You basically painted a target on my back. Her eyes shimmered violet. There are forces moving, human. The Council fears your kind more than they admit. You've only been among the stars for 20 standard years, and already, you adapt. You build, you learn. You remind them of what they lost long ago. I frowned. And what's that supposed to mean? Evolution through struggle, she whispered. We've lived too long in comfort. Our civilizations are old, stagnant. But humans, she stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. You still burn. You still fight the dark. That's why they fear you. A sudden tremor shook the ground. From above, a sharp, mechanical screech echoed through the gardens. A shadow descended, the sigil of the council guard glowing on its hull. They're here already, Alara muttered. I told you they would move fast. Move fast. Who? I asked, alarmed. The council. They don't want the Vereen heir consorting with a human. Before I could react, armored figures descended from hover platforms, 8 of them. Silver armor gleaming. Princess Alara, the lead guard said, his voice amplified. You will step away from the human. Now. Alara didn't move. She extended one hand slightly, and light rippled through her palm. soft violet aura that shimmered like lightning. "No," she said. "If you touch him, you'll find out why gods fear his kind." And in that moment, I realized this wasn't just about me. Something ancient, hidden, and terrifying was stirring beneath the surface of this galaxy. Something connected to humanity. The council guards surrounded us, weapons humming with plasma energy. Their visors glowed like molten glass, reflecting my terrified face. "Last warning, Princess," their commander growled. "Step aside, or we'll neutralize both of you." Alara didn't even flinch. "You wouldn't dare." But I saw it in their stance, they would. These weren't ceremonial guards. They were the council's enforcers, the kind who erased problems quietly. And now I was a problem. My pulse thundered. I wasn't a soldier, just a human cadet barely surviving an alien academy. I couldn't fight armored elites. Yet somewhere deep in my bones, something ancient stirred. The air around me began to hum. Alara looked at me sharply. "Do you feel it?" She whispered. Before I could answer, the lead guard fired. The bolt streaked toward me, but stopped midair, frozen in a ripple of blue distortion. The plasma twisted, melted, and vanished into light. Everyone froze. Even Alara. My vision blurred. Heat flooded my veins, like fire and electricity mixing together. My heartbeat echoed like a war drum. What's happening to me?" I gasped. Alara's eyes widened, not in fear, but awe. "It's the Genesis code," she breathed. "Your species still carries it." The guards opened fire in panic. Bolts of plasma flew, but each one curved away from me, dissolving before they could strike. The ground cracked beneath my feet. I didn't try to fight, it just happened. My instincts took over. Energy, pure, raw, untamed, exploded outward. A shockwave hurled the guards into the air. Metal armor crumpled like foil. The fountain shattered into a storm of light. When the glow faded, silence reigned. I stood trembling, smoke rising from the ground around me. The once perfect garden was now a crater of molten stone. Alara stepped forward, her voice soft. "Now you understand. Humanity was never meant to kneel." I stared at my hands, still faintly glowing. What did I just do?" "You awakened what your ancestors buried," she said. "Once, humans walked among stars as equals to the old gods. When they fell, the universe forgot. But not completely." She placed her hand gently over my heart. The fire never died. It only slept, waiting for the right one to wake it. Sirens blared in the distance. The council would come, and this time they wouldn't just send guards. Alara smiled faintly. "Run, human. The galaxy is about to remember what it fears most." And as I looked at the smoking ruins around us, I finally understood her first words. Humans carry the fire that makes gods afraid.